yeah, these are going to be the 5 topics that we're going to discuss today, and will be on the test. And let's start from the first one, which is about circle. And what we're going to talk here is just about the perimeter, and then the area, the arc length, and then the area of a sector, and also the angles that forms in a circle. So let's start. Okay, in circle, a couple of formulas that you need to remember, because I'm not giving you the formulas, guys, so you need to memorize that. So the first one is, I'm going to use it about circle. The first one is about perimeter. So remember what the formula is. That'll be 2 pi r. Very good. Yes. Okay. And then for the area, it's just pi r squared. Okay, now notice that some of the times the pi may not be the pi that's in your calculator, because today we're not going to use the calculator. So the pi, I'm going to give a value for that, which is 22/7. Yeah, okay. So if in the question it is stated that it's like given pi equals to 22/7, then you use that number. Yeah. But if it doesn't say anything, just use pi. Yeah. So for example, if I have, let's say we have a circle with a radius of, let's say it's 42 centimeter. Now, if I want to find the perimeter, it's just like equals to, and then it said that given, right? Given the pi is equals to 22/7. So the perimeter is just like 2 times 22/7 times 42, right? And then you can actually cancel this 7 and the 42, right? What is 42 divided by 7? It's 6, right? And then just multiply 2 times 22 is 44. 44 times 6, just multiply like this. You know how to do this, right? Yeah. Okay. 24, yeah. And that 24 and then 26. Yeah, 264. And then don't forget, because this is just like most of the question is in multiple choice, so you don't really need to worry about the unit, yeah. Tapi kalau essay nanti be careful with that. Okay, how about the area, guys? So the area will be equals to pi, which is 22/7 times r squared. You can write down as 42 times 42, right? It's like this. And then again, you can cancel this. You get 6, and then just multiply all of this number, and then you'll get a number, and then you'll get that. Gitu ya? Okay. So these are for the perimeter areas. The next one is about sector and arc length. Okay, remember that, guys? Arc length. Okay, remember that arc length is just the part of the perimeter of a circle. Okay, so let's say we have a circle here, and then we have a radius that, okay, pretty easy. Let's say the radius is just 7 centimeter, for example. Now, if I have another line, let's say I have point A over here, and then let's say I have point B over here. Yes. Okay, so yeah, Sultan, I think you can go to kemana ya tadi ya? Ya, kayak sebelah deh. Grade 8. Ya, sama Bu Mary. Yes. Yeah, no problem. Yes, can go there. Bye. Okay, so let's say I have another point here, B, and then we drag a line, which is also not radius. Let's say it's the radius also. And then let's say the angle here is, berapa ya? Let's say it's 45 degrees. Okay. Right. Now, what is the arc length of AB? So we have minor and major. Remember that? The minor arc and major arc. Still remember what's the difference? Masih ingat? Ya, minor berarti yang kecil ya, the small one. Ini kan ada 2 arc. So we have 2 arc actually for AB. So this guy here and this guy over here, gitu ya. Ada 2. So if we just say arc, so it is going to be designated to the minor arc. Ya, jadi dia yang kecilnya. Ya, so if I want to know the minor arc of AB is just this guy over here. So remember that this is just the part of the circle, right? The circumference of the circle. Ya nggak sih? Nah, makanya di sini sebenarnya bukan perimeter, guys, tapi disebutnya circumference ya. Terus C ya. Ya, keliling itu bahasa Inggrisnya, kalau lingkaran adalah circumference. Now, the minor arc atau arc length itu sebenarnya tinggal just the angle divided by 360. Why is it 360? Because one full circle is 360, right? The angle that is shaping that arc, right, divided by 360, and then multiply that with the circumference. That's it, right? Because we already know that the circumference is this, 2 pi r, so we can just write down this as 2 pi r. Gitu. Yeah, okay. Now, if we are going to find this one over here, and that will be just equals to, there'll be 45 degree over 360 degree, and then multiply that by 2, and then multiply it by 22/7, again, because it's given that is the pi is just 22 over 7. And then multiply by the radius. That's it. Get it. How to calculate? Just cancel this, right? And then simplify this. Simplify that, right? And then we can also again cancel this before, right? And then cancel this again, and you'll get that. Okay, so most of the calculation that will be on the test is going to be like some fraction, but you can do something like this. Okay, so keep in mind that when you're dividing something and you write down in fraction, you can simplify the fraction first. Ya, oh bisa di-cancel nih, bisa di-cancel sampai the simplest form. Kalau udah selesai itu. Jadi, so for example, if the answer is like in decimal, maybe it's just like 0.5 or 0.8 or 0.6 gitu ya. Tapi kalau misalnya untuk fraction, I will give you the option as a fraction. Jadi nggak usah kalian ubah jadi desimal. Gitu ya. Kalau 11/2 ya udah nanti ada pilihan yang 11/2. Gitu ya. Oke. Okay. So how about yes, Owen. Thank you, Owen. Minus 11 for Owen. Yes. Okay. So the next one is about the, again, minor, we call it the sector. Now, previously, arc is the part of the circumference. If I say sector, means it is about area. So if we're talking about area, so sector, it means that it's just the part of the area of the circle. Right? So the formula is pretty much the same. I mean, like pretty similar with the arc length. It's just this guy over here. But instead of multiplying by the circumference, you multiply by the area of the circle. Gitu ya. So for the sector area, yeah, sector area, they'll be equals to theta over 360, and then multiply by the area, which is the pi r squared. Gitu ya. Okay, so for this one here, there'll be, again, 45 over 360, right? And then multiply by 22 over 7. Again, because in the question, it is given that the pi is 22 over 7. Again, if the question doesn't give you that, just use the pi, the symbol of pi. And then multiply that by the r square, which is 7 times 7, right? So 7 squared, you can write down as 7 times 7. And then do the same thing again. We can simplify this 45 over 360, which is 1 over 8. And then we can actually, again, cancel this, right? And then we can cancel this again as 4, and this is 11, right? And then just multiply 11 times 7, which is 77. And then the 4 becomes the denominator, and that will be like this. Again, you don't have to change this into decimal. Because most of the option that I gave you, and they give you for this test, is going to be in fraction instead of decimal. Okay, gimana? Okay, lanjut ya. Okay, next up is about angles in a circle. So let's go. A couple of theory about the angle in a circle. Now, let's say I have the circle here and I have a center point over here. So let's say I have point A over here and point B over here, and then I have another point over here. Now, if I have this line here, let's say I'm going to drag a radius from A to the center point of the circle, and also from B, right? And then also I'm going to drag a line from B to this point over here, and then this point also over here. Now remember this theory, guys? So for example, this is 60 degree. If this is 60, what is this? That'll be 30, right? That'll be just half of that. Now this is what we call the centered angle. Is it center? I forgot the name. Center angle, and this one is what we call the inscribed angle, if I'm mistaken. Saya lupa namanya. Inscribed angle, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot. So it's just like, this is just a half of that. Gitu ya. Jadi pasti setengahnya. Now let's say I have another point between the AB. Let's say I have a point over here. Let's say that is point A. Now I'm going to drag another line from here to here, and then from here to here. Now, what if I want to know this angle over here? Now, the one that we talk about, center angle and inscribed angle, this angle here should be in front of the center angle. So it needs to be there. Or you can actually go there or there, but you cannot go backward. For example, it's over there. So this is not 30, right? Because you can see that it's impossible to see that this is 30 because that is not an acute angle, right? It's an obtuse angle, so which means that it will be more than 90, right? Now, how do we calculate that? So a couple of methods. There are two major methods that we can use. The first one, you can find this angle first, right? What's the angle there? It's 300, right? Because the full circle is 360, and because this is 60, so this is 300. So this is just the inscribed angle of the 300, which is 150. It's just half of the 300, ya. Gitu. 150. Gitu. Itu satu metode. The second method is what we call the, I forgot the name, it's a quadrilateral something. So if you have a apa namanya, quadrilateral, ada persegi 4 ya, inside a circle. I'm going to draw another circle. Actually. So if I have, for example, 4 points, let's say I have point A, point B, point C, and point D, right? So if I drag a line from here to here, from A to B to C, and then to D, now the angle that is shaped is going to be very, very special. And then we know that, as we know that, in a quadrilateral, let's go back to triangle. In a triangle, what is the sum of the angles? Okay, in a quadrilateral, what is the sum of the angle? Yeah, 360, very good. Now, in a circle, if it's this here and this here, if you add these two, there will be exactly 180, right? So you can see that this guy here, so this ABCD, it forms a quadrilateral, right? So ABCD, ya nggak sih? Persegi 4 ya? Ya nggak sih? So if we say that, let's say this is alpha and beta, let's say alpha plus beta equals to 180. So this, which means that this, if I add this and this, there will be 180, right? So notice that if I know that this is 30, so this is just 180 minus 30. What is 180 minus 30? It's 150. It's the same thing, right? So we have two methods on how to find that angle. Okay, gimana? Okay, ya, nah itu ya. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah. And then I'm also going to give you some question of using Pythagoras, finding like the sector, apa namanya, the chord, gitu ya, ada chord. Okay, maybe I'm gonna give you one example for that. So let's say I have another circle over here, and then I have a point A and point B. Let's say point A and point B, and I have center point O over here, and then I'm going to again drag a radius from the center point to A and also to B. And then I want to know the length of this line over here. Okay, this is what we call chord, ya. Ini kita sebutnya chord A. Chord AB. Ya, hati-hati ya, ada arc, ada chord. Kalau arc itu berarti yang melengkung, berarti chord itu yang lurus, ya. So how do we find the length of AB? No, we can use Pythagoras for this one, right? So now let's say I have another line. Let's say I have another line over here like this. And this line here is perpendicular to AB like this, right? So let's say I don't have it. Let's say I don't have this. Let's say I don't have that. I want to know the radius of the circle. It's just the line that I just erased, right? So if you want to find the radius, just drag a line from here to here, for example. And let's say this AB, so let's say the radius is A. Let's say this guy is B. So how do I find the length of line AB? Yeah, Pythagoras ya. But when you use Pythagoras, you're just finding half of that. Ya enggak? Nanti dikali 2. Gitu ya. So, remember Pythagoras, right? Ya, pakai itulah nanti ya. Saya nggak usah jelasin because you already know. Okay, so that is going to be, yes, yeah. That is going to be the first 5 question on the test. The next question will be about, let me see what I have prepared. The next one is about circs. Yes. Okay. You have the notes, right, guys? Yeah, and if you bring your notebook, I'm going to talk about circs. Okay, cert is actually just in a square root form, yeah, square root form. So let's say I have apa namanya? There are a couple of properties. The first one is addition and subtraction. Remember that when we talk about addition and subtraction, it always talk about like terms. It's the same thing if I'm write it down as 2a plus 3a. That'll be equals to 5a, right? So if you're adding or subtracting, notice that you need to have like terms. So for example, if I write down 2 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5, this is equals to 5 square root of 5. So you can see that what this 5 comes from 2 plus 3, right? So notice that because they have the same exact apa namanya kita sebutnya like terms, ya, because they have the same exact term. So, but if I write down like this, for example, like this, you cannot simplify this. This is the simplest form of this expression because they do not have the same term. Ya, kalau addition sama subtraction kayak gitu ya. Kalau multiplication sama division gimana? Boleh ya? Boleh. For example, if I write down square root of 2 times square root of 3, that'll be equals to square root of 6. That's it, gitu ya. Square root inside the square root. If I have 4 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 3, how about that? There'll be 20 square root of 6. Where does 20 come from is from this 4 and 5. Because the 4 and 5 is not in a third form, it's just like a number aside the third, just multiply them, you will get 20. Right? The one inside the third is this guy and this guy, just multiply them and you'll get 6. That's it. Right? The same thing if we do division, same exact thing. For example, if I have, berapa ya? Let's say 24 square root of 6 divided by, let's say it's 4 square root of 2, for example. Okay, so this one here, the one that you can divide, okay, 24 and 4, 24 and 4, you can divide this. What do you get? It's just 6, right? 24 divided by 4 is 6. And then this guy is also the same because both of them inside a third, so you can combine them. What is the square root of 6 divided by square root of 2? It's the same thing as square root of 6 divided by 2, which is, there we go. Right? Pretty easy. Okay? Next. The next one is simplifying surds. Simplifying the form of surd. For example, if I have the square root of 8. Okay, this can be simplified. Remember that we could split this. Remember in multiplication, right? We can actually split it. So square root of 8 can be written as this, right? So notice that I'm using this number here. Why? Because that number is a perfect square. Yeah, I think that perfect square. So in that case, I can split those two. I can split that becomes like this. And I know that the square root of 4 is just 2. So it's just 2 times square root of 2 is just 2 square root of 2. That's it. Right? Another example. What if we have square root of 50? How about that? 5 what? You can split it into 25 times 2, right? Because we know that 25 is a perfect square. So you find the perfect square, the factor from the 50, that is a perfect square. Hello? Yes, Adli? Okay. So that will be square root of 25 multiplied with square root of 2. That will be just 5 square root of 2. Gitu ya? Ya, masih ingat yang ini ya? Okay. Now the next one is about rationalizing the denominator. Masih ingat? So if you have a fraction in which the fraction form, the denominator is in third form, you sometimes ask to rationalize that fraction. It means that you're getting rid of the third form on the denominator. Okay, so for example, if I have, let's say, 4 over square root of 2. Okay, now there we have a denominator which is a third form. So what can we do to get rid of that? Times, times it with square root of 2 over square root of 2. Why am I multiplying with this? Now the question is, if I'm multiplying with this, does this change the value of this? No, why? Because this is just 1. Any number multiplied by 1 goes back to the number, right? Because square root of 2 divided by square root of 2 is just 1. It's just that. I'm just like, okay, manipulating this. Remember that in fraction, when you multiply, numerator multiply by numerator, denominator with denominator. So the one on the numerator, that'll be just 4 square root of 2, right? How about the denominator? It's just 2, because we know that square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just equals to 2, right? And then we're not done yet because this is not the simplest form of this this expression or this term. We can cancel the 4 and 2, right? Nah, hati-hati ya. Jangan cancel yang di dalam kurung. Okay, so what is 4 divided by 2? It's just 2, right? And there you go. Gitu ya? Okay. So this is the first form of rationalizing denominator. And then what if the denominator is not just a third, but it's like an expression, like addition or subtraction, but one is third and the other is not a third, or both of them may be third. For example, like this. Let's say I have 4 over square root of 2 plus 1. Okay, remember that? What do we do now? Okay, should we do it like this? Multiplying by square root of 2 plus 1 over square root of 2 plus 1? Yeah, why is it minus? Why is it minus? Yes. Yeah. Okay. This properties is very, very important. So if I multiply a plus b times a minus b, there'll be a square minus b square. And see that I'm just squaring these two numbers, right? And then subtract those two numbers. Why? Because when I square a square root, the square root is gone, right? Because that's the goal, right? So in here we change this sign into minus. Yeah. Okay, so for this one, you can remember that you can, when you are multiplying this, you need to do it like this, gitu ya. Tapi I'm not going to multiply yang atas dulu. I'm just going to write down 4, 26. Okay, so it's 4 bracket square root of 2 minus 1, and then on the denominator, there'll be square root of 2 plus 1 times square root of 2 minus 1. Okay. Now, we can expand this bracket, right? Okay, now, I'm going to expand the bracket on the denominator first. Okay, silakan. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. Okay. And then, square root of 2 times negative 1 is minus square root of 2. And then 1 times square root of 2 is plus square root of 2. And then 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Gitu ya? Betul kan? Yang atas, ya udah, saya tulis begitu aja dulu. So, 4 bracket square root of 2 minus 1. And what happened here, guys? What's the final result of this calculation? It's this one, right? Because this guy is gone. Ya kan? Ini kan habis nih. Minus square root of 2 plus square root of 2 is just 0. And then you only leave you with 2 and 1. Right? 2 and minus 1. So that'll be just equals to 1. Now, which means that the one on the top is just 4 brackets square root of 2 minus 1 over 1. Remember that dividing by 1, meaning that you go back to the same number. So I don't need to write down the 1. But if it is in multiple choice, so you might want to open the bracket and there'll be 4 square root of 2 minus gitu. Ya. Ingat ya, kita sebutnya conjugate ya guys. So this one here and here, this is the conjugate. I think it's conjugate if I'm not mistaken ya. Saya gagal lupa namanya. Oke, gimana? Search? Bisa ya? Okay. Let's go to the next topic. Wah, lumayan ya, udah 23 menit. The next one is about simultaneous linear equation. I think this is also going to be easy, right? We have also talked about it. For example, if I have x plus y equals to 10 and then x minus y equals to, let's say it's 2. How do you solve this equation? Yeah, we can use what we call the elimination method, right? We have a lot of, we have 3 methods actually. The first one is substitution method, the second one is elimination, and the third one is a graph. Yeah, we don't really talk about graph, but yeah, we can actually see it from using application. But for this one here, we can actually just, what do you want to do here? If you say eliminate, what do you want to eliminate? One of the variable. It's up to you which one do you want to eliminate first. Okay, so which one? Just pick. Y. Okay, so if you're going to eliminate the y, what should we do with these two equations? Is it add them or subtract them? Yes, you add them, because if you add y with minus y, and there'll be 0y. 0y means just, yeah, anything plus 0 is the same thing. I mean, like, it's going back to the same number, right? So if you add them, you'll get x plus x, which is equals to 2x. And then that'll be just 12 over here. And then meaning that we divide both sides by 2, they'll be just equals to 6. Now, how about the, how about the y? So the y, you only need to input that into one of the equation. It's up to you. Boleh pertama, boleh kedua. It's up to you, yeah? So if I put it here, so it'll be 6 plus y equals to 10. So y equals to 10 minus 6, and y is equals to 4. There you go. You have these two. Now, in the question here, I would like you to write it down in coordinate form. So you need to write down 6,4. Jangan sampai kebalik, ya. Jangan, kalau kamu tulis begini, salah atau benar? Salah, because this is the x value, this is y value, ya. Ternyata di sini kan 6 sama 4, jadi kebalik. Jadi jangan sampai kebalik. So, please do not misplace the x and the y value, ya. Saya rasa for the simultaneous linear equation gak usah banyak-banyak ya, karena I think you udah cukup jago lah. Ya kayak gini-gini aja gitu ya. Paling nanti ada soal cerita, misalnya kemarin tuh kayak inequalities, misalnya ada, jumlah koinnya ada 15 gitu ya. Tapi nggak sampai inequalities ya guys ya. Paling sampai situ doang. Okay. The next one is going to be about what is it? Oh yeah, sequence. Yeah, okay, sequence. Okay, so you can memorize the formula if you want, but if you don't want to, it's fine. You can just use your own logic. Now, we have two types of a sequence for this grade 9, which the first one is what we call the arithmetic, and the second one is geometric. I'm going to write down the formula first. Geometric. Okay, so we have discussed on how to get the formulas when we are in semester 1. So I'm just going to review and write down the formula for you guys. So the nth term, right? The nth term formula is going to be, okay, I'm going to move this a little bit to the right side. Okay, the nth term for the arithmetic, there'll be the un equals to the first term plus n minus 1 times the common difference. How about the geometric? So remember? U1 times r n minus 1. Here we go. Okay. Now, you can actually see the pattern, guys. If you still remember, I hope you still remember, that the pattern is like this. If I have the arithmetic sequence, so let's say u1 is just equals to u1, u2 equals to u1 plus d, u3 equals to u1 plus 2d, u4 is equals to u1 plus 3d, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Right? Notice that this guy over here, if this is 2 and this is 1, if this is 3, this is 2, if this is 4, this is 3, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Right? So this is actually the pattern. You don't really need to like memorize the formula if you don't want to, but yes, I suggest that you memorize that because you will use it again later on in the final exam and also in senior high. Yeah. Okay, so for the geometric is also the same. So the pattern is like, oh, u1 is just u1, u2 is u1 times r, right? u3 is u1 times r squared, u4 is u1 times r cubed, and so on, so on. You can see that this is to the power of 1, this is to the power of 2, this is to the power of 4, and so on, so on, so on. Again, this is just the pattern, yeah? Patternnya kayak gini, okay? Now, the next one is what we call the sum of the first nth term, yeah? So in arithmetic, we can actually have 2, geometric actually 1, but you can have 2. But I'm going to just write down the formula. There'll be the first one is Sn equals to n over 2 bracket 2 times the first term and then plus n minus 1 times the common difference. Actually, we have another one, which is n over 2 times u1 plus un. So for both of these formulas, it's very common to use this one over here instead of the second one. If you want to use the second one, make sure that you know the last term of that, we call it the series, ya. Kalau ada tambah-tambah-tambah itu namanya series ya, bukan sequence. Ya, tapi sama aja sih konsepnya itu aja. Okay, so for the geometric series is there will be Sn equals to u1 times r to the power of n minus 1 over r minus 1. So that is for Sn. And then we have another one, actually, we call it the infinite geometric series, right? So we can write down like this, right? And that will be u1 over 1 minus r. So what's the difference? Okay, if this one here, the case in which the ratio is like between 0 and 1. Ya, misalnya rasionya setengah atau 2/3, ya, kenapa? Baik kok. Ya. So if it said find the sum of the infinite series. Nah, berarti pakai rumusnya yang ini. Ya. Karena for example, ya, misalnya gini. If I have 4, 2, 1, lihat ya. If I have 4 to 1 in geometric series, what's the next term? Term berikutnya berapa? Setengah, right? So you see that every time you go to the next term, you're dividing by 2, ya nggak sih? Bagi 2, 2. Bagi 2, 1. Bagi 2, setengah. Bagi 2, seperempat. Bagi 2, seperlapan. And so on. The number is getting smaller, 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 and smaller, right? That's why we call it the infinite geometric sequence. Now, if you want to, if you want to add all of these numbers, misalnya ditambahin semua, ya, kamu boleh pakai rumus yang ini, gitu ya. Kalau pakai infinite geometric series kita sebutnya. Okay, I'm going to give you one example. Okay, let's say I have an arithmetic sequence. It's like this. Let's start with 5. I'm going to go with 9, and then 13, and so on. Okay, now I would like to, let's find the nth term. Let's say I want to know the first term and the common difference, and U101. And then S101, actually, yes. Okay, now I'm asking all of these for questions. Okay, for the first term, berapa? 5, okay, because it's there. What's the common difference? It's 4. What do you get for? It's 9 minus 5, or 13 minus 9 juga bisa, right? So just subtracting this term with the previous term, you will get the common difference, yeah? So you can write down it's 9 minus 5 or 13 minus 9 is the same thing, which is equals to 4. Okay, how about if I want to know the 101th term? You can use the formula tadi, yeah? So that'll be just 5 and then plus bracket 100 minus 1 times 4, right? Gitu ya. Okay, now 101 minus 1 is just 100. So there'll be just, this guy is just going to be 400 plus 5, there'll be 405. Get that. Okay, now S101. Now for this question, for S, you can use either of these two. Why? Because we already know the term 101 term. Tuh, lihat. Ini saya udah tahu. Jadi saya boleh pakai rumus ini. Tapi kalau saya belum tahu yang itu, kamu pakai yang atas saja, ya. So, it will work for both formulas. Boleh yang mana aja, dua-duanya pasti sama, ya. Okay, now I'm gonna try the first formula. There'll be n over 2, there'll be 101 over 2, and then times u2 times 5, and then plus 101 minus 1, and then times it with 4. Okay, now if I do this, I'm not going to simplify the 101 over 2. This is going to be 10, this is going to be 400, right? Ya nggak? Ini kan 101 kurang 1, 100 kali 4, 400. Okay, and that will be equals to 101 over 2, and then this will be 410. Okay, now I'm going to cancel that. Jadi berapa? 410 bagi 2, 205. Okay, and then just multiply 205 with 101. Berapa? Kali 101. Kali 100 aja 20500 itu ya. Right? If you multiply, and then just add it with 205. 5070. Nah, itu dia. Ya, nanti hitung sendiri ya. Tapi kira-kira begini caranya. Oke? Okay? Yes. Ya, oke. Okay. Tapi angkanya nggak terlalu gede kok. Paling gede itu cuma ratusan. Kayak 300 sekian, dah. Nggak sampai ribuan, ya. Oke? Okay? Oke, okay, ini untuk arithmetic sequence ya. Let's go to geometric sequence. Okay, let's go to geometric. For example, for geometric sequence, geometric. Okay, so let's say we have the sequence over here. Let's say we have, mulai dari angka berapa ya? Angka 2 aja deh. 2, 2, 4, 8, and so on. Ya, geometric sequence ya. Okay, same thing. U1, and then this is common ratio. Let's say we have the berapa ya? 8 deh. And then S of 7 aja. Okay. Now, what's the first term? 2. What's the common ratio? What's the common ratio? It's also 2. Where do you get the 2? Yeah, you divide, right? So remember that, ya Pak, 4 dikurang 2 juga bisa jadi 2 Pak, ya. So be careful with that. So in here, when we talk about ratio, it means that you're comparing with dividing. You're dividing something, ya. So the common ratio will be just dividing 4 with 2 or dividing 8 with 4. It's going to be the same thing. 4 over 2 equals to 8 over 4 just equals to 2. That's it. Now for this 8th term, you can use the formula that we have before, which is the first term, and then multiply that with the common ratio, and then to the power of 8 minus 1, because the n is 8, and then the formula is n minus 1. So this will be just 2 times 2 to the power of 7. And then remember, in exponent, if I multiply 2 times 2 to the power of 7, there will be 2 to the power of 8. Yes, because we know that this is actually to the power of 1, right? Remember, in exponent, if we multiply with the same base, we can just add the power, masih ingat? Gitu ya. Sebenarnya ini nanti dihitung sendiri ya. Berapa ya? 32, 64, 64 kali 4 berapa? Belakangnya 6 ya? Belakangnya 246, benar nggak? Benar nggak sih? 64 times 4, 16, 256, yes. Yeah. Okay, the next one, maybe I'm going to do S7, I'm going to do S6, biar lebih, angkanya lebih kecil ya. Okay, S6, that'll be equals to the first term, which is 2, and then multiply that by this to the power of 6 minus 1 over 2 minus 1, gitu ya. Okay, that'll be 2. This is just 1, so we can ignore them because anything divided by 1 is just going back to the same number. And then just multiply that 2 to the power of 6 minus 1. What is 2 to the power of 6? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 64, guys, yeah. So that'll be just 2 bracket 64 minus 1, and it'll be 2 times 63 will be 120. Yeah, this is for geometric sequence, yeah. Okay, the last one is going to be about similarities and congruency. Wow, this is very interesting. I'm gonna go and take some example question from our exercise, ya. Saya akan ambil soal-soal dari exercise yang waktu itu. We're go to, so where is it? I forgot. Here you go. Not this one. Ini dia. Yes, okay, still remember this, guys? Masih ingat ini? Saya nggak akan keluarin misalnya angle side gitu, nggak ya. Langsung aja pakai angka ya. I'm just gonna go for numbers. Okay, I'm gonna go and take one question here. Let's say this guy. I'm gonna go with that. Okay, here we go. Establish that a pair of triangles is similar and hence find the x value. Okay, now we know that in similarities, we can use the triangle method. So if two triangles are the same, are similar, then their corresponding side is going to be have the same ratio, right? So in here, one of the method that I taught you guys is that if we have something like this, you try to separate the two image, yeah, the two triangles, yeah. Kamu pisahin dulu, jadi akan lebih kelihatan. So we have the big one over here. I'm gonna draw that like this. And I have the smaller one. I'm just going to copy paste that because it is similar. Karena dia similar, berarti saya bisa copy paste. Tapi yang satu saya kecilin gitu lah. Right? I'm just gonna make it a little smaller like this, gitu ya. Okay, so we have those two. And then try to write down what we know. Okay, so the one that we know that this is 24 centimeter and this is 15 centimeter. And what else do we know? Okay, I'm going to write down this is ABC, this is a DEC. Okay, so A, B, D, E, C. Okay, what do we know next, guys? DC is X, yes. This is X centimeter. What else do we know? Okay. This AC is the addition of these two numbers, right? So it's 12 plus X or X plus 12 is the same thing, yeah? I'm going to write down X plus 12 centimeter. Now, because they are similar, meaning that if I compare this side with this side, they'll be equals to this side with this side, yeah? Just make sure that you put the numbers correctly. Jangan sampai kebalik. Misalnya ini begini tapi yang satu kebalik gitu. Jangan sampai kebalik, ya. Karena akan ada soal yang Saya gambarnya yang satu agak kebalik gitu ya. Jadi be careful with that. Now, I'm gonna write this down. That will be like this. So, that will be x plus 12 over 24 equals to x over 15. Pak, boleh nggak Pak x tambah 12 per x sama dengan 24 per 15? Boleh aja. Ya, misalnya ini per ini sama dengan ini per ini. Itu juga boleh. Ya, yang penting pasangan corresponding sides-nya. Ya, kalau misalnya ini ada di denominator, ya berarti dua-duanya di denominator. Gitu. Ya, nggak masalah. Yeah, I'm going to use the first one, yeah? Nggak masalah, it's the same thing. Now, how do we solve this? How? Yeah, cross multiply, right? So you go there, so multiply both sides by 15 and 24, gitu ya. Jadi dua-duanya kamu bagi ini. There's actually another way on how to do this. You can see that 24 and 15 have common factors. What is it? 3. Right? So you can actually divide this by 3 first. Kalau misalnya mau angkanya lebih kecil, ya udah nih bagi 3 aja dua-duanya. Tuh. Baru kamu cross. Jadi angkanya lebih kecil. Ya. Walaupun kalian Pak, kayaknya saya belum bisa begitu ya nggak apa-apa. Kamu langsung cross aja. But if you can do that, simplify dulu. Tapi ingat ya, yang boleh di cancel itu yang sama kalau di sebelah situ. Jadi it's the same thing. So if I do that, there will be 5 and then multiply by x plus 12. And then the other one is 8 equals to 8. And then multiply that by x. Yeah. Okay, so if we expand the bracket, there will be 5x plus 60 yeah, equals to 8x. And then I can subtract both sides by 5x. That will be 60 equals to 8x minus 5x. That will be 3x, right? And then I can divide both sides by 3. That will be, x. That will be, berapa x-nya? 20, 30. Bener ya? Salah itu enggak? Salah itu enggak, guys? Please correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Salah itu enggak nih saya? 60 bagi 3, 20 ya? Bener ya? Bener ya? Oke, sip. Takut salah gitu. Okay, so most of the question will be like this, yeah, for congruency and symmetry. Sometimes the triangle will be like it's upside down. For example, if I have a triangle like this and I have another triangle, so let's say this is alpha and this angle is beta over here and the other one is not over here as the beta, but the beta is over here. Gitu. Jadi yang satunya gambar begini, yang satunya lagi di flip. Gitu ya. When you want to separate the triangles and then do the same thing like this. Yes? Okay? It has been 45 minutes, so we are done with the explanation. I'm going to give you 13 minutes to get yourself ready, and after that, we will start the test. Okay? If you still have a question, I will be gladly explain it to you guys. You have 13 minutes to get yourself ready. Okay? Thank you very much. Arigato.